Hello and welcome to a Pingry IRT instructional video. Today we're going to be doing pipetting tips and a couple of things about that. First, Pingry has four types of pipettes. There's a P1000, a P200, a P20, and a P2. Each of them go up to the highest amount on the top, and you divide that number by 10 for the lowest number. Go past that on either end and you could damage the pipette, so please don't do that. The pipette itself has this part to turn on the amounts that you want, which is labeled here. This is the ejection part, so when you have a tip here that you want to get rid of, you just eject it into a proper disposal place. That's basically the pipette, and most of them have red numbers labeled as decimals. The P1000 doesn't for whatever reason, so the red number on top is the thousands place. The other two are hundreds and tens. And then finally here is the P2 that has two decimals because it goes that level, and these are actually decimals. General tips for when you're pipetting is you push down with the tip, pushing down until you feel a resistance, and then you pull back up. That's when you're in the liquid. So let me finish. Take the tip, put it in, have the pressure already applied, and then let it pull back gently. Do it again. Push in, let it pull out. And so you can see you have an amount here. Anyways, when you're putting a amount into a tube, you want to have it at eye levels, and then put it in so you can see it. Now, a helpful tip for when you are pipetting into something is you have a liquid and you pipette into the solution. What I mean by that is when you put the pipette in, you're putting it up to the liquid, you're sticking the tip into the liquid in order for it all to get rid of it from the tip.
And also hot water evaporates quicker.
So that makes sure that there's nothing left on the tip, and you're getting the entire sample in your pipette tip into the tube that you're using. In terms of the different types of tips, there's the P2 tips that are these. They're the smallest kind. They have a different rack. And the P20 and P200 use this one, the yellow one, and the P1000 uses the green one, the really big ones. When you're pipetting, the last thing you want to do is open the tip box, because you want to leave this as least amount of exposure to anything else, and the pipette, you don't want to be swinging it in the air. Another helpful tip for when you have multiple samples, you want to be able to distinguish when you've put something in the sample. This is very important because if you forget, you could be ruining your entire experiment. So, whereas I'm putting more water into this here, after I put it in once, you take it and put it somewhere else. Physically move it out of the way so you know you're not going to be doing it again. You can think of any kind of method that you want to do with this, just be accurate. So you would do that every time. So pipette another one in, and pipette another one in, and then you're finished with your samples. Now, you can use the same tip for placing a sample into another tube if it's all the same stuff. What I mean by that is this is water going into an empty tube. I can keep using the same one because there's going to be no contamination. If you have different things in those tubes, you can't use the same tip. That is basically it. The only other thing that I would recommend is using large sample sizes first into a tube, and then increasingly smaller sizes. This way that again the tip, the liquid in the tip can be grabbed and pulled into the tube. The only exception to this is enzymes, which are sensitive to what they're going to be doing. And that is it. Thank you for watching.